Hello, isn't this the most beautiful picture that you've ever seen? I love this green matcha and my beautiful cream sweater. And you can't see it, but I'm looking at my gorgeous flowers that my boyfriend just got me and my beautiful bookshelf in the back. I wanted to create a video today. I think maybe I'll draw something. Maybe I won't. I wanted to create a video today on all the different loves that I've had as a 21-year-old girl slash woman. Because in honor of getting engaged, I'm getting engaged next month. I know the day, I know when it's gonna happen. I'm honestly a little upset that I've figured out the date because I've been bothering him and asking him, like, you can tell me, like, when is it gonna happen? And then I had some family things going on where I kind of deduced that if this is going on, then I know that it's gonna be at the end of the month. And then he was like, honey, please stop. And now I know that it's that day. I'm still very excited. I wish I hadn't done that to myself though, but now it's kind of like a definite Christmas, where Christmas always December 25th, when you still get excited for it, you still wonder, what am I gonna get? What's it gonna look like? How is it gonna go? The same thing for this. I'm still gonna know. I still don't know anything, so I'm still very excited. And I think it will just be, as right now it's still January, so I think as it gets closer, it's only 22 days away, only 3 weeks away. So as it gets closer, I think just the emotions will continue to peak and peak and peak, and it'll be so exciting. And I really do have to savor being single right now, as this is the only time in my life that I'll be this. This is it. Take a good long look at me. Say I knew Bria before she was Bria Stein. But anyway, I also, before I get any imaginary comments that are in my head, that what I was saying earlier to myself is that people love to think that when you are reminiscing about love that you've had in the past, it's because of the person that you were with, when I've never found that to be the case. And I don't really think, maybe that's the case for other people, but it's more so that that is my experience, that was my idea of love, or like what I went through in my life that made me me. It's never about the boy or who that boy is, or if I like him or not now, which I do not. But it's just that's a beautiful moment in my life that impacted me. And I think that other people don't like to hear that at all. They're like, well, why are you talking about that? Or why are you even thinking about it? When that's just part of your story. For Jake, I always try to ask him questions. I'm always like, so what, like, you had like, I'm actually Jake's first real girlfriend. Like, the other ones that he had were, he had two. I don't think I should be telling any of you guys this, but I'll just let you know that I am Jake's first real girlfriend, and I would consider Jake my first real boyfriend. But as we will learn in this video, I think I'll go over the three loves that I've had in my life as a young woman. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. I don't think I'll get into anything very triggering or very harmful, so I'll just keep it at the basics, in that my first love was a very intense, very passion, like, not it was very lustful, but not in like it was just very intense, very obsessive, and very angry. And it was very powerful in the sense that someone could hate you so much that they love you, or love you so much that they hate you. Both of those in the same pretense at that time. And at the time I was a young girl, and it was an older man, and you just think, as a young girl with someone like that, you think that this is an honor in some type of way, that someone is willing to love you like this. And I think that's why a lot of young girls get into such horrible situations, because one, we don't know anything, and that's so horrible. I remember one time I was reading Lolita to him, and he was just disgusted, and I couldn't, in that moment, I knew that it was wrong. I knew what I was doing, but I still to this day don't know if he didn't like it, because you know, you get the idea that he didn't like it because it was a part of himself that he's seeing. But in that moment, I still didn't feel like that. It still felt like a genuine, like, hatred for that type of behavior, which obviously isn't true. But anyway, just very obsessive, very angry, lots of fights. And when you're a young girl, and I think that you aren't exposed to good love, I always thought that love came with a lot of hatred in it. Love came with a lot of anger in it. I thought that behind every closed door, every family was dealing with a very angry father, a mother that would either take it or react to it. I just thought every family was like that, whether you're good at hiding it or not. And every family had their skeleton in the closets. So when a love is like that, there's very high highs and there's very low lows, so you just think that that's it. And so that I think that was my first introduction to love, something that was very volatile, something that was very crazy, something that was very hurtful and harmful. So then when I met my second love, which I would not even consider this a second love because it was so nothing, but because it's smidged between those two great loves, I think I do have to call it what it is. And when my younger self was in that, she did consider that love. She thought it was at the top of the world. And I think this one is very different in that because there was no anger, I thought it was a very good love, but there was no anger at all. And I think as a part of being so closely known to someone and exposing your whole soul to someone, and vice versa, that there's going to be some bickering, there's going to be some arguments, there's going to be some back and forth. And I like, just because you are so, we're not perfect people, and you get to know them in a very familial way, like the way that you bicker with your siblings and you're like, get off of me, get away from me, change this channel right now, like things like that. I think that requires a certain level of familiarity and getting to know one another. Like, of course I wouldn't talk that way to like my coworkers, because I'm not close like that with my coworkers. I wouldn't like shove them around and stuff. But so that's what I think the second love was. It was nice, it was fine, but because we didn't love each other deeply, because we just didn't, there was none of that familiarity and that comfort to be your true, full, vulnerable self. And I remember doing that love, I thought it was because it was very calm, and I thought he liked me very much, but I often found myself not really knowing what to say, or trying to act a different way than I was, or trying to be funnier, or take myself back from being funny. Maybe I was being too much, maybe like he didn't like who I was. And like I think that's what a lot of women go through as well, where like a boy likes you at the beginning, but over time they're like, you're way too much for me, which was very different than my first one, because my first one was very obsessive, very overwhelming, and then this one was more back. And I think many women get caught in those two scenarios, where it's someone that you fight with negatively, badly for your whole life, or it's someone that you're never too close with to ever have true depth with, so that you never do have any arguments. And so I'm grateful now that my beautiful, wonderful fiance, that I can't even say that word yet, it has to be 22 days, but my wonderful boyfriend, I love him just so much, in that our love is very deep and very passionate and wonderful, and not we're waiting for marriage, but just so beautiful and so comfortable. And I love the bickering that we have. I just recently watched Eternal with my best friends, and she, spoiler alerts, but she ultimately chooses the husband that she was with for so long, that she would constantly bicker with, constantly have these little arguments with all the time, like, oh, like, honey, like, let's go to the beach, I don't want to be around the beach. And that's who you like. And when, granted, we don't bicker all the time, I don't want to make it seem like that, because we don't, but I think that's so beautiful. Like, I'll come home from a very long day and I'll be like, I just need some space right now, and he immediately comes in for a hug and wants to cuddle and like lays on me, and I'm like, I can't do this right, you need to get away from me, you need to get off of me. And I think that's so beautiful, that you were so comfortable with one another, that we bicker like siblings, and so in love with one another, that is something that I'm so grateful to Jake for exposing me to, that love isn't angry, and love, just because you're comfortable with someone doesn't mean that you give them your worst parts, doesn't mean that you get to just treat them with the least amount of respect that you wouldn't treat anyone else, just because you love them. Because in prior relationships and what I've seen in my own life is that the people closest to you, you are allowed to treat them with a certain level of disrespect during times of disagreement, because they love you so much, because you're going to get back together, because you're just alive, because you're angry, because it's just so passionate, because that's what love is. I just always thought that. But then when I met Jake, and he's never once cursed at me, he's never once yelled at me, he's never once made me feel stupid, he's never once coerced me into a sexual act. We are waiting, but he's never once done that. He is so patient, so kind, so loving. He's got all the fruits of the Spirit, and he is just, and I never really thought about that before in love. I remember one time I was reading a book. He was the first one was reading it, and it was Matthew McConaughey, I think, his autobiography, and he read it to me, and it was, if I remember correctly, his mom and his dad were chasing each other around the kitchen with a kitchen knife, trying to kill each other, and then like he squirted ketchup on her, and they just ended up in a fit of laughing. And I remember the first one, and I thought that was so romantic, like to hate each other enough to turn into love, and vice versa. And now I realize with Jake, and what Jake has so graciously shown me, is that that's not love at all. Like, love is not mistreating the people closest to you because you can. It's treating them better than everybody around you, and loving them so deeply. And Jake has been just so perfect in that sense, and so perfect in every sense. He's just so wonderful. And I think I'm so grateful to God for giving me those two examples of love, all-consuming angry love versus a like, okay, like we don't really like each other, like it's fine, like no big deal, like we weren't really supposed to be together, not your true self. And then this just perfect love of like respect and love and friendship. That's what it is at the end of the day. It's me and my best friend, and we love each other. Like, I was telling him, I love my best friend. I love my best friend Yared, but I could not spend 70 years with her, like in a house. Maybe we could, but I can't do that. I can't do that with anybody, not even like my little brother, not even my mom, not even anybody. I can't spend all day with him, but I could just spend the rest of my life with Jake. And there will be bickering. That comes a part of that, but I just love him so much. And just so perfect. And I'm only 21 years old, so maybe in the future I'll make an additional video and be like, and my fourth love is my son, my fourth love is my daughter, and get to share that type of love. But so far there's been three loves in my life, which I actually wanted to create this video because there's a song by Matt Maltese called Crystal, and the lyrics say something along the lines of, I'll forget everyone that I've loved, like in loving you, just because I love you so much. And I remember every single heartbreak, I would always think like, this is not forever. Like, I remember actively thinking that like, this is not, I will meet someone new, I will meet someone that loves me, I will meet someone that just loves me unconditionally, and like how Christ would. And that happened. And so yeah, in the moment you always think that this is it, this is like the thing, this is how it is, this is how love is. And then you're always like, whoa, like love is being known and loved and cared for, and being like my best friend with someone. That is what love is, not any of these don't know who I am and don't want to, I'm walking on eggshells, and this one is yelling at me all the time. Like, it's just so pure and simple. So yeah, maybe in the future I'll make a video and say, this is my baby, this is our baby that we made, and here's our true familial love feels, or this is how motherly love feels. But I am I suppose if you're watching this video and you're younger, and I remember when I was 16, I was always very keen on wondering what like life was like as an older woman. I can't believe that 16 was 5 years ago, but I'm still very young. I'm still very young. And the love with Jake and I that we have, it continues to grow deeper every day. I don't know how it does that, but we've been together for almost 2 years now. And I thought that I loved him so much from the beginning, but it's just so much different now. And I'm excited to see that grow, especially as we continue to be engaged. And a secret that I have is that I just bought a dress because he told me that I should just wear a regular normal outfit for the engagement because we're doing it after church, and he doesn't want he wants us to like match and not be too different looking. But I just bought this gorgeous beautiful dress from Abercrombie & Fitch that I've been looking at for a month now. I've been wanting it so bad, and it's just so perfect, and I think I'm gonna wear it after, like when we go get dinner or when we go plan all this with my friends. Like I didn't even drink my matcha during this. I'm really excited for that. So I think that will be the end of this video. Thank you for listening to me talk about the loves that I've had in my life as a 21-year-old girl. I will see you all in the next video, and I love you so much. Bye.